Neonic Void Productions presents.
Who wants to introduce?
Welcome to Spookocalypse.
They answered my question.
I am your host, Bunyip, and I just got through hearing an earful for the last 45 minutes. I'm joined with Zio and Housekeeper.
Damn, he calling us out.
You were discussing theories about this movie, and I'm like, maybe we should just save this for the recording.
Damn. He added us.
That's
Hashtag drag us. Damn. I mean, you're right, though, but shit. Anyway, take it away. Let's dive right into this.
I think he means the housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear my name. I heard some stranger's name.
Wow. I said housekeeper.
No, you
Sorry. We have to invoke the spirit of the housekeeper to
Spirit? You mean demon?
What the fuck ever? I do good magic.
Spawn of Satan? What?
Yeah, they're like Glinda the Good Witch.
A witch? Burn the witch? What?
No, good witch.
Bitch, I'm not the one that got stuck underneath the fucking house. You did.
One fucking time. Listen here, okay? At least she didn't go for the red hair. Satan's color, okay? I'll take a house. I got back up. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure about that? Fucking love John Cena. I'm sorry. He's great. Okay. If you like this podcast, make sure you follow and rate us on whatever site you listen to your podcast. Share with your friends. New episodes get uploaded every Saturday, unless we have technical difficulties. Links are down in the description for other podcasts that are part of the Neonic family. Follow us on Twitter. I will never call it by that stupid ass name. Our handle is at Spookocalypse. That's at SPOOKOCALYPSE. We are also on YouTube. If you are on YouTube right now listening to us or watching the video, whatever. Hi, hello, welcome. Make sure you drop a like, share the video, subscribe, or you know what? I want that little button to light up. Subscribe. Tickle the bell, take it out to dinner, slap it, punch it, whatever you feel like the bell, Just, make sure you interact with it some kind of way or not. I'm not your mom. Leave down in the comments what your favorite part of today's subject, movie that we're going to be reviewing today was, what your favorite part of today's show was, or if you just want to stop by, say hi. We don't bite. We may be doing spooky shit, but we're still nice. Or if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, let us know. We're going to be doing some spooky shit, and mints are going to be on the pillow.
And
today's flavor will be a small handful of Red Hots.
Oh yeah. I was about to say Red Hot. Yeah. So today's topic of discussion was originally supposed to be something else, but we ended up changing it last minute because reasons. First off, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
That's what the subject was supposed to be about, by the way.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Star Wars, but we decided against that for reasons. And there's been a movie that got released not that long, like literally a week or two ago, about a week ago, maybe two, that I've been wanting to talk about for like ever. So that film in question is called Late Night with the Devil. The film was released in, there's so many release dates, March 10, 2023 by South by Southwest, or in the United States, March 22nd, 2024, or if you're in Australia, April 11th, 2024. The movie is a effort between the countries of Australia, United Arab Emirates and United States. And there's a shit ton of companies behind it. Because let me tell you, when you watch the movie, you swear it's 5 minutes of company logos.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
here's the
oh
start of the
my
film.
God.
And then it's like, oh, it's a different company. Oh, here's the start of the film. Oh, it's a different company.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus
It's
Christ.
like that. It's like that Family Guy skit.
Yeah.
It's like that Family Guy skit.
There's a shit ton of companies. Image Nation, Dubai. You got Vic Screen, AGC Studios, Good Fiend Films, Future Pictures, Spooky Pictures. It's distributed by IFC, IFC and Shudder in the United States, Umbrella Entertainment, Moslow Entertainment, and Ahi Films in Australia. Like it's a lot. It's like, I'm not even joking. Like first 5 minutes, nothing more than just company logos, which I gotta say, I do love the logo little intro thing for Good Fiend Films. I thought that was pretty cool, personally, with that claymation. This film stars David. God, how you say his last name?
That's Malachane?
Looks like it says Das Malkian.
Hold on, because they have it. If you click on his
Yeah.
name, it has the
Desmolchin.
Desmolchin? I'm so sorry if we like fucked that name up, dude.
Oh my gosh. Hold up. I love this actor's in everything.
He is.
Desmolchin. Yeah, it's Desmolchin.
So he's in like The Dark Knight, Ant-Man, Blade Runner,
The DeBlanco Experiment, Dune.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Oppenheimer, The Boogeyman.
Ooh, he's gonna be
The Dark Knight.
Ooh.
The Dark Knight was his first movie.
Ooh, he was in, and then like TV shows, ER, CSI, Almost Human, MacGyver, Gotham, The Flash, Twin Peaks.
What If from Marvel, the Blu-ray Brothers Dracula. He was a judge on the drag show.
He was in several music videos as well. Like,
yeah,
this guy is fucking. His resume is like 10 pages long.
Yeah, he's been a very big. I know him for being a supporting actor in a bunch of superhero films, as well as like Dune and all that type of stuff. So this film was, I would say, very important to him in particular, because I think this is like is one of his first films that he is like the main actor in. Like it's him front and center.
And he did amazing.
He did a fabulous job.
So amazing.
This film also stars Laura Gordon, Ian Bliss. Let's see who else would be recognizable. Don Lane. I don't even know how to pronounce that actor's name.
Faisal Bazi?
Yeah, Faisal Bazi. He was the medium.
Yeah.
He's an Australian actor.
Ooh, Michael Ironside's the narrator.
Oh. Work. J.O. May. Christopher Kirby.
Can we do a shout out to Ingrid Torelli? Like, she did amazing. She plays.
Ingrid. Ingrid. She played Lily. Oh
man, she did such a
girl,
unnerving, and and it's. She did great. Like I'm like, man, like it unnerved both me and the boyfriend. You know, we were like, whoa, she's doing a great job. She needs a raise.
She sure is. Give this girl more. Give her more roles,
please.
She plays it She plays the innocent vibe, but you could tell there's something sinister going on. Now, before we get into the topic of this film as a whole, I thought be smart to at least address the situation surrounding this film on why it got the attention it did, not for the good reasons, of course. Before we get into the actual film, might as well get this out of the way. Floop. This film used AI for a couple of. So the whole idea of this film is you're watching an old. Yeah, we'll be right back segments. This film is basically a episode of a late night TV show in the late 70s. And you got the whole we'll be right back little cutaways. Those little artworks that say we'll be right back or whatnot were all AI generated.
So to be fair, this movie was made before all the strikes happened.
Yeah.
And it was a highly indie film, so they were limited on their budget. So, like, I could understand why they used AI. But when people attack an indie film for using AI, have the same kind, like, I'm sorry, this gets me heated. Have the same kind of fucking energy for big freaking companies like Disney who use it in their opening fucking sequences as well as in their fucking movies and shit. Like, don't be mad at an indie film who has limited budget, who did it before everything happened. But then don't say anything about Disney after everything happened. Because they did this shit after everything happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, it's only fair. And people are throwing their energy at the wrong fucking people. They really are. They really are.
Yeah. Because I mean, I agree they shouldn't have used AI, but to the extent that I saw that people were just dragging this movie, boycott this movie, I'm just like, I can understand if it was a big part of the film. It wasn't even, it was less than 15 seconds in total.
And 3 pictures, like 3 or 4 pictures. Like it was 3 or 4 pictures. And again, it was before all the strikes happened, right? This was before AI got really, really big whenever they made this film. And they had a limited budget. They couldn't afford, to have a couple of artists sit down and make this artwork versus a big company who has the money, who has the budget, who could use artists to do that. But instead, they wanted to cut corners and then use AI.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know how much the budget was for this fucking movie, y'all. This could have been
we don't.
Like less than $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, the conversation around AI generated artwork or AI generated stuff in movies should be talked about. Like, for example, recently, A24.
Oh, okay. So,
Civil War.
Low budget Late Night with the Devil is set in 1970s and spent $150,000.
Yeah.
It was a film that was less than $200,000. That's how much money they had. Now, again, I'm against using AI for artwork, especially if you're going to be making money on it.
Exactly.
You know, like, I have a lot of artist friends. Zio is one of them. Shout out to, Kashi and Zaku. They are also very close friends of mine who are artists, and I have commissioned them before for their artwork. I'd rather not use AI for and support any local artists, but there is a small gray area, in my opinion. This is one of them. Like,
it wasn't big enough to really do that much of an impact, in my personal opinion. Could they have gotten somebody? Sure, of course they could have, but I don't think it warranted the spark of the conversation. Of course. But I don't
But
think it
not
warranted the
blacklisting it.
negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a bit extreme. As much as compared to God, I Love Them Till the Day I Die, Marvel doing the intro to Secret Invasion completely AI. Sure, people were
Well, they're also
talking
used it in
about
their
it.
films. They've also used it in their films.
Well, that's to be determined on certain extent because you can use AI properly and not like use it as a tool to make things easier, like doing CGI on eyes or shit. Because Dune used AI, technically speaking, for tracking of
Yes,
the
but
eyes and
they
shit. So
yeah, if you're using it for tracking, you're using it as a proper tool instead of,
the tool for the artwork rather than doing the artwork itself. Yeah,
exactly. But
yeah.
like, cause like I'll say it, like I use AI. I use
Same.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I don't
Use it
say
for
like, hey,
inspiration purposes.
yeah, like I don't say like, hey, write me this, and then I copy it. Like I'll go,
Yeah.
send me props, or not props, prompts, PROMPT, prompt. I
Yeah.
think that's how you spell it. Prompts on like character development. Like send me 50 questions about character development. And like I use that to like help me in my writing, not make a character that's like this, like
Yeah. Use it as the stepping stone, not the final result,
exactly.
as it should be. I thought I'd go ahead and just get that out of the way before we get into this film. So that's the as far as the box office for this film, because this film was in theater for a little while. It made about
Still is.
it still is?
Yeah, there's a couple of theaters that are playing like maybe 1 or 2 showings a day.
Oh, work. Currently the box office is at 11.3 million. So I mean it
went past their budget. They did make profit from it.
yeah, they did make profit from it. Because you said what was 100,000? 150,000?
Less than 200,000, which is that's
Less than
very cheap
200,000.
for a fucking movie.
Yeah,
That is so cheap for a movie.
that is. And the fact that they did what they did with this movie, with that budget, girl, work.
Dude, for real. Oh my god, the visual effects are amazing.
Yeah, girl, work. So 11 million. Yeah, they made their budget. They did good. They did good. Bunya, start us off.
It's talking about the wonderful times of the 1970s where there's Satanic Panic and Charles Manson and their Son of Sam. Oh, great fucking times.
Oh, lovely times.
Cult killings, like literal, like
Oh
massive.
God.
Oh yeah, trigger warning. Mass
Major
suicides, like
trigger warning. Big wee woo, wee woo.
wee woo, major trigger warning for this movie.
I don't know if we can say the S word.
Mass unaliving.
I was
There
gonna
you go.
think of something really convoluted, like multi-coordinated self-removal from reality.
Yeah, that's good too.
Self-removal.
Future Zio, just bleep out the word that I said. Don't even
Yeah.
edit out. Just bleep it. Just beep beep.
Yeah.
That'd be
Beep,
funny as
beep.
fuck.
It's self-removal from the reality,
Mass self removal from
Yeah,
reality.
Yeah.
Mass dissociation.
It's the 70s. That happened a lot.
It happened in Texas, actually.
Oh, you mean Waco? Oh,
yeah. Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
And that was
trauma.
like you lived through it.
No, but the trauma of the people who survived it.
Oh yeah, and then how people like kind of avoid Waco now. Like people don't want to go to Waco.
Yeah. Anyway, Bunya, pop off.
So we're all excited. It's around Halloween, and there's this guy named Jack Delroy. He has his own late night talk show, appealing to the Insomniacs and competing with Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So through his celebrity connections, the Night Owls host Jack Delroy makes regular visits to the Grove, or at least it's hinted that he does. It's a rumor. There's no confirmation yet. But
Mhm.
it's the Grove, an elite California camp for the rich and powerful and the elitist of men.
Oh, sure is.
Ugh.
Mm.
I wonder what that's a reference to. Ugh.
We can get into that later. So we got. He also has his lovely wife, Madeline, who unfortunately succumbs to lung cancer despite not being a smoker.
She's also around her husband, who is a smoker, though.
That is
That's
true.
right. He is a smoker.
That is true.
And third-hand smoke is actually more deadly than just smoking this cigarette
Wait.
straight up.
Third hand.
Yeah.
I've always heard
Secondhand.
I've always
No,
heard it
there's
called
secondhand. There's secondhand smoke, and then there's third-hand smoke. So secondhand smoke is the smoke that comes out of the cigarette. It comes out of like them breathing it out. Third-hand smoke is the smoke that's on your clothes and your hair, on objects. Like that stuff is actually more deadly than the secondhand smoke is.
Oh, is it because you inhale the particles of the smoke that's lying on your clothing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I lived with like 2 chain smokers my entire life, for most of my life. So, and yeah, third-hand smoke is actually worse than second-hand smoke.
I did not know that.
Mhm. The more
But-
you know.
Interesting.
The more you unfortunately know. So back
Yeah,
to Madeline
interesting.
dying of cancer.
Yeah, back to Madeline dying of leukemia.
I thought it was lung
Girl.
cancer.
That's leukemia.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought leukemia was like a blood infection.
Which is what cancer
Mm,
is.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But you're not entirely right either. But yeah, after this major incident, the Night Owls pretty much halts its production because it's having a major effect on Jack. He isn't doing so well on his show. But he does return, and he's got this idea to boost his show's ratings, and he decides to do this special on on the occult, and he airs it on Halloween. So he has some special guests, such as self-proclaimed psychic and medium Christo, a skeptic and former magician Carmichael Haig, parapsychologist author June Ross Mitchell, and June's latest subject, Lily. Is it Dibo?
I think so. Lily. Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
It kind of reminds me of Diablo,
Ah,
the Satanist stuff.
wow, that was really on the nose. I see what you did there. You just gave it to us.
And I think they mentioned like Miss Cleo, but I don't think she ever shows up.
No, she never does. I was like, "Where's Miss Cleo?"
So they have a typical late night show introduction, and the co-host, what was his name, or the assistant?
Oh God.
I can't remember his name.
Oh, it's supposed to be slightly important. Gus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's dressed up as a little devil,
Appropriate.
and they have a little back and forth, and then it's like, okay, we're here to introduce our first guest, Christo. And so Christo shows up, and he's doing his whole psychic thing where in reality most of them are just guessing names like Peterson. And it's like, oh, I know someone named Peter. It's like, oh, okay. And then they talk about that, and then he does another reading for this mother and daughter in the audience, and they have a nice emotional moment. And then Christo experiences this premonition that seems out of his control, and it seems like it's hurting him, and he's like, someone named Minnie. And he's like, someone accept the call, but then it finally goes away.
Yeah.
But the hint that he gives is like an unwed man who has a ring on his finger. And you notice that Jack has a ring still on his finger. So that's the
Yeah.
first hint that has something to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then not too long after, he's like, yeah, my nickname for Madeline, my wife, was Minnie. It was a private nickname. Like I didn't tell anybody about this. So it's really
Oh.
odd that Christo would know this.
This was also like he also like said that he brought out a skeptic.
Oh yeah, like the skep. Yeah, I think the skeptic shows up before Christo gets sick.
Well, so like he does like the whole like will anybody accept this many, and then he sits there and like throughout like the whole segment where like the skeptic is like you can see that he doesn't feel good. Like he's like coughing, he's like he's not having a good time.
Hmm.
And like he's trying to explain like, oh yeah, like this is how he was able to do this and this is how he was able to do that. And then like something happens to where like he throws up.
Starts throwing up
Yeah,
vile.
Christo's trying to leave through the sliding door, but it's not opening, and then he vomits, and it splashes onto the skeptic. Like it gets over his jacket. It's like, oh goodness gracious! Now I have to get a new clean jacket. But yeah, Christo falls to the ground, and then they get some paramedics to take him backstage. It was like rush him off to Mount Sinai Hospital. But then it's like, we'll be back at commercial. Here's a commercial break. We'll be right back. And there's some backstage stuff going on, and we get
And
introduced
that's whenever he
to
mentions Minnie, like in the
yeah,
backstage stuff, because he's like, yeah, like that was a private name that I used to call her. Like that was what we called her was Minnie.
yeah, like basically proving that he didn't stage any of this with Christo. But we also see June, who introduces Lily, and the sole survivor of a multi-coordinated self-removal from reality
Mm-hmm.
by a satanic church that worshipped Abraxas. Now,
And those of you wondering what's Abraxas, basically TLDR, an old pagan god that was repurposed, rebranded by Catholicism as a demon. That's all you need to know.
mhm. I mean, June is hesitant to do this, like talking about Lily, who was the only survivor of this satanic church. And because, like, on one hand, she would like to prove to the world that demonic possessions are real, but at the same time, she's like not really sure if she should have Lily show up on television, and for good reason. Because Lily shows up, it's after the break. It's like, here's June and Lily, and then Lily sits down, looks all nice and dressed, and then just always looks directly at the camera that's currently on, or like the one that's in
Yeah.
focus. And she has this demon within her, which she refers to as Mr. Wriggles. And Jack basically says like, could you conjure up Mr. Wriggles for us? Like, could you call him out? And it's like, yeah, sure, I could do that. And I think they have another commercial break before they have her set up in the chair. And this is when the crew's like, Jack, Christo died on his way to the hospital.
Bum, bum, bum.
Mm-hmm. I think he has like this, as a producer buddy called Leo. I'm trying to remember what his name was. Like he sort of played a role. Yeah, Leo Fisk.
Yeah.
He's the producer. Sort of like pushing Jack to keep the show going, even though Jack's having some second thoughts. Like, I want the good ratings, but I don't know about this. And then Gus is like the only one that seems like Gus and June are the only ones that seem to have hesitations about this. Like, I don't know if we should show up demon possession on live TV, even
Yeah.
if it's real or not.
Well, at this point, people are already scared, right? Like
Like
they
they're
don't think.
convinced like this is gonna be real.
Yeah, like they're all like this isn't cool. Like people are scared, and he's all like, "Fuck it, we're go live." That's basically,
But I need those ratings.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So June is sitting across from Lily, and then Lily becomes possessed by Mr. Wriggles, and she says some regular demon things, levitates in her chair, the electricity goes haywire, And she makes a vague reference to having previously met Jack under the tall trees.
Dun, dun.
She's like, well, you know me.
Yeah, and
That's not suspicious.
it plays out like The Cleansing Hour, which is a movie we covered over a year ago.
Yep.
Such a good movie. I like that one too. That one was good.
Mhm.
It's such a cheap movie, but it was great.
But at this, I think when the possession ends, Carmichael challenges June. He's like, you. I don't know exactly what this, but basically he's being a skeptic, as is his job. He's like, I can hypnotize the audience too by getting Gus to sit across from me while I give him a hypnotism demonstration with his watch that has like the typical black and white spiral. And then he asks Gus, like, hey, what are you afraid of? He's like, I really don't like worms. And then over time, you see worms coming out of his neck and out of his stomach, just out of his eye, out of everywhere. But then they review the footage in real time, and it proves that Gus wasn't actually being destroyed by worms. He was imagining it.
Yeah.
And the hallucination was experienced by everyone in the studio, not just Gus.
Including the audience. Make a note of that.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the supernatural phenomenon that occurred during June's conjuring appears unaltered in the playback, which implies that that was definitely real. Although Carmichael is still skeptical. Like, oh, there
Yeah.
must have been
Jump in, but
some way to hypnotize the audience. And I'm like, how? How?
Right.
hmm But also, Jack notices that Madeline's ghost is standing behind him in the footage.
Yes. Because they had to do a play by play. It's frame by frame.
hmm And of course, Carmichael's like, you set this whole thing up. This is all just a big old hoax. And then Lily becomes possessed again, and then has a bolt of lightning from the ceiling that connects to her left hand, and then a bolt to like a nearby television monitor connects to her right hand. Her head splits open and begins to
Oh, so
glow.
good.
oh my
Yes.
god. For
So
for
good.
$150,000, like that is fucking amazing.
This
Mhm.
movie is insanity. I love it.
Yeah, like compared to the vomiting that Christo did, I was like, it's like that looked a little cheap, but then this one looks legit.
Oh yeah.
But then she uses her telekinetic powers to throw Jack into a wall and then kills Gus. And
Turns
June.
his head right around. Oh,
hmm
so
I
good.
mean, they did make. I love how they're like, oh yeah, we'll be spinning heads, all right. Yeah, they spinned heads.
hmm
They sure did.
I swear, two of them, including June, are like the power of Christ compels you. That doesn't work. Then Carmichael pulls out $100,000 check, which he was going to give to whoever could prove a psychic phenomenon as legit. He pulls
Yeah.
out the check and he's like holding it out in front of him. It's like the power of wealth compels you, and she just burns it up.
And she burns him alive. God, that must be a painful way to go.
Mhm. And then Jack is suddenly transported into a nightmarish version of the show. He relives moments of the show's past. He sees himself, his back turned to the audience, and it's before it's revealed that he has a connection to the demon possessing Lily, meaning he did meet this demon. He encountered it during a ceremony at the Grove. It's also revealed that Jack was indirectly responsible for Madeline's cancer in exchange for the sudden success of night owls. And then Madeline's spirit confronts Jack and begs him to put her out of her misery. And so Jack takes the ritual dagger from Lily's former cult and he stabs Madeline's death. And then we cut right back to the now empty studio where Jack realizes he's actually stabbed Lily.
Yeah.
He's all alone, stands over the bodies of his dead guests as the police sirens slowly close in. What was that line that he says at the end?
Can't fucking remember.
Isn't it like "Dreamer, wake up"?
Oh,
Like I think he's saying it to himself.
Yeah, I think it's along the lines of
Hold on.
I think during this nightmare segment, like how the show is presented is like it's all through the film. Like this is recorded film, and so the cameras would be like what you would see on a television set, and then
yeah.
of course the camera for backstage because they do show the backstage stuff. But then during the nightmare stuff, it's like okay, we're going to shoot it more cinematically because this is in the past.
Yes, the ratio of the footage goes from like the typical old school, like, oh god, I don't know what the
4:3?
ratio would be, 4:3 to like widescreen. It's so cool how they do it.
Yeah, but did you look at the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side
For
No,
the nightmare scenes.
for the movie, the very end of the movie?
Oh, I don't think I did.
You didn't? Hold on.
what's on the bottom left?
Hold
Is
on.
it hinting that it's still recording with the studio?
Hold
camera?
on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm bringing up the movie right now. I'm bringing up the movie right now. Oh my god. I can't believe fucking. I like how all I have to do is type in late. Hold on.
What?
All you have to
Oh.
type in is late on the search engine. Hold on. I'm sorry. So it says in transmission, right? It says in
Yeah.
transmission,
Mhm.
and then it goes so it is done.
Oh yeah, so it is done. Yeah,
It switches from in transmission to so it is done. And he says, hold on. He's saying, I want to put the captions on because I can't fucking. Dreamer here awake. He says, Dreamer here awake. Dreamer here awake. And that is so whenever the skeptic hypnotized everybody in the studio, including the viewers, because that's what it alluded to, in order to stop the hallucination, to stop not the hallucination, the hypnotism, that's what he says.
Mm.
To stop the hypnotism, he says, Dreamer here awake. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because one of the things that Bunyip before the sequence of him being in this hellish scenes of being in the studio, there's another hypnotism scene, like the spiraling like you're getting sleepy type of spiral, and Jack's standing in front of it, and he's saying like, turn off the TV now, and like this whole like hypnotism type scene is happening, and then you see all of the hellish things that are going on in the studio. Just putting it out there. I feel like that's an important.
I was about to say, like, that's pretty much the end of the movie, and then the rest is symbolism and theories that we've
Yes,
found.
pretty much. Yep. Who wants to go first in theories?
I only know some of the stuff on the surface, such as references to Gnosticism, which I know next to nothing about. And then there's also, like, there's some people in the audience, such as the guy in the skeleton costume, and there's someone who's also dressed as a devil.
There's other people who are in costumes too. And if you notice, the only people who show up during the quote unquote woods scene, the grove scene, they're all the people in the audience that were wearing costumes.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. So I'm a big fan of conspiracy theories. I like exploring them. I think that they're interesting.
Yeah.
One of the biggest conspiracy theories that a lot of people know about, but it's also not common knowledge. It's really weird. It's about Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
So Bohemian Grove originally started off as a secret society of artists. Like they were high named artists that would meet up once a year and do whatever they did in the forest, and it turned into um it turned into like, instead of just being artists, it turned into like high profile names, high profile leaders. So it is rumored to be said that the Bohemian Grove is where the leaders of the world meet up and discuss like the future of what's going to happen. Um a lot of people give Alex Jones a lot of hate. To be fair, that man is a walking meme. I think he's so fucking funny. If you don't know who he is, he's the one who's like, they're turning the freaking frogs gay. Like, he's that guy. Like, this guy got invited to Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But this guy got invited to Bohemian Grove and secretly recorded some of what was happening in Bohemian Grove.
Mm.
He shed light on some of the stuff that was happening in Bohemian Grove.
Mm.
And they were doing some kind of weird ass, like, seance. Like, cult like seance that was there. I'm amazed he's still alive. Like, honest to God. Like, honest to God. Like, I'm surprised he's still alive for doing that. So it is rumored to be said. We don't know if it's true or not, but it's rumored to be said that, like, because the people that live there too in that area, they refuse to talk about what happens up there. There are people who have worked on the Grove. There are people who, you know, they see the people who come into the area. But it is rumored to be said that they do sacrifices there. Again, this is heavy, heavy stuff. So there's like sacrifice, like children's sacrifices. There's in front of a giant. Now, hold on, because this is where everything ties in. Bohemian Grove is in a redwood forest in California. Bohemian Grove also has a giant owl sculpture. A
Yeah.
giant owl sculpture that they do their rituals in front of, quote unquote rituals in front of.
Yeah.
And I recently saw a video of someone who was able to sneak into Bohemian Grove. Like, he snuck all the way into Bohemian Grove. Like, he's standing in front of the owl sculpture. He goes into the kitchen. Like, this is fucking crazy shit. Like, I'm amazed that he got that far. And, like, I freaked out because one of the names that he read, because they had, like, a whiteboard on there. One of the things he read, like, one of the names on there was Josh Peck. And I was like, Josh Peck!
Yeah,
Like,
it was Josh.
Peck from Drake and Josh?
It was Josh Peck that went in there and saw his name on the whiteboard.
No. No. That's not his name. That's not who saw, like, it wasn't Josh Peck who saw Josh Peck's name. But, like, so there's also videos that have come up from other celebrities, right? About what the quote unquote, like everybody had, you know, the Illuminati. The Illuminati is also supposed to be connected to Bohemian Grove. The Illuminati is known to be a secret organization that controls the world, basically. And there have been different celebrities who have spoken up on this, Cat Williams being one of them. There's rappers who have spoken up about this, and one of the things that they mention is that there's two things that you can do in order to get success. There's two things that you could do. One of them, it's heavy. One of them is unsavory things to children. If you catch my drift. Very, very, very illegal. It's not cool to like. I would probably murder you if I found out that you've ever done this to a child, type of thing. Like, people get murdered in prison for doing these kind of things to children. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna go into it that far. Which ties into another thing that I saw within one of the scenes. So you could either do that, or you can make a sacrifice. Those are the two things that you could do to gain success as a celebrity, from what they've said. There's a rapper who says, every time I come out with an album, someone that I love and that I'm close to dies. He has said that. There have been interviews with different celebrities where one celebrity is shushing the other one because the other one is talking too much. They're saying too much information. This is all connected. Now, with the unsavory thing to children, if you notice, there's a lot of things that, again, I really love conspiracy theories. I like finding out about them. If I believe them or not, that's up to you to decide. I just like to study this shit. So, if you notice, celebrities are kind of obsessed with the visualization of pandas. Right? Like you'll see
Mhm.
like people dressed up as pandas, or they there's an obsession with pandas. This is something I just read probably about a week ago. So, whenever forced backdoor stuff happens to children, the blood vessels in their head pop and it creates bruises around their eyes, and it represents pandas. And if you look in the group of people that's in the Grove scene, there's one character in there who has panda eyes. Again, this is just things that I have read up about. I don't whether or not it's true or not. There's no real evidence. It's all conspiracy theories, but just things tie in too much. Especially because he's gone to the Grove. He has, he made a sacrifice to his wife, of his wife to gain the success. But if you notice, why did he not have success immediately when she died? His ratings went down, this is that and the other, and there's a theory about that as well. There's something else I was gonna say. I can't fucking remember right now. There's so much. uh oh the hidden in plain sight. So one of the things that they talk about, they're like, oh, well, you can't be mad at us because we told you it was gonna happen, which goes into the theory of the Simpsons, quote unquote predicts the future. There's been Illuminati symbolism throughout cartoons and TV shows and stuff like that. Everything's open, everything is in plain sight. And that could tie into they literally made a movie about what actually fucking happens, but people may or may not believe it because, again, it's a movie. So it could be oh yeah, they're just playing into the conspiracy theory, or it's actually fucking true. We don't know for sure, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the theory. There's that when it comes to just the film itself, and then of course there's the theories of who the skeleton is, because the skeleton gets shown a lot. There's been theories the skeleton is an omen of death. It's hey, death is coming, and he's sitting right behind the devil, right? The devil character that's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
There's other theories that the skeleton is part of the cult and he wants to make sure that payment is due, that it gets done. There's also the thing, the scene where it shows the cult doing, the mass removal from reality.
Yeah.
They say that anybody who witnesses this ritual will be under the effect of the demon. I can't remember what the demon's name is at the moment. And
Abraxas.
Abraxas, and the one person who survived was Lily. She witnessed the ritual, and then another ritual was done on live television. And anybody who watched this live television saw this ritual and now has been under control of Abraxas. That's another theory. There's also the theory that we were hypnotized
Yeah.
a second time. That was literally like an argument that me and Zio had before we started recording. He's like, no, like it all happened. It's real. Cause like we're watching it. We like, it's literally like, the tapes. And I'm all like, Zio, there was already a scene where we originally got hypnotized as viewers. They proved that we were hypnotized as viewers. And then they do another hypnotism scene. And then we see all this crazy shit happen. And then the same line that he used to end the hypnotism scene originally, Jack is now saying at the end of the movie. So what were we seeing? What we like, the things that we were seeing, was this all part of a hypnotism thing, or was this actually something that was on tape? We won't know unless there's a playback, which we will never get, because it ends just with him saying that and sirens wailing in the distance.
Mm.
Dude, I could go on for hours about like the whole Bohemian Grove shit. It's such an interesting fucking like conspiracy theory.
I'm almost convinced that it might have been real. Like, I like the secondary hypnotism theory,
Hmm.
but because he's chanting to himself, dream or wake up, I think he might believe that he's being hypnotized, but reality's setting in because he thought he was stabbing Madeline, right? But then he cuts back to
Yeah,
reality and he's actually stabbed Lily. So to me, he seems like he's back in reality, but he's trying to wake up even though it's like, but you are awake. All this that
yeah,
happened is real.
yeah. I mean, like, I like both theories. Like, I like the fact that, like, oh, could have this been real? Like, do we see everything that happened, like with him being in this hellscape, or were we hypnotized and the demon made us feel like this is what we were seeing?
Yeah.
Because demons also like to make you hallucinate, right? Like they like to play with their food. So if we're going based off of, and yes, Abraxas is not an actual demon, from like original mythology on like what he is. Um, but like if we're going just based off of Christian teachings, right? Off of the Bible, like demons will play with you. Demons will feed off of every negative feeling that you have, and they feed off of like weak spirits, and they attach onto weak spirits and will make you suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer. You could go back to Amityville, like Amityville and the Amityville horror, because they were, tortured by a demon, and things of that nature, right? So like he could just have been just torturing us along with Jack.
If you want to
Without
describe, if you all listening, oh my God, what does this Abraxas look like? Imagine, now bear with me, imagine, if you will, a humanoid being with a rooster head, a human body, and his feet are snakes. That's Abraxas.
What was he the original god of, Zio?
As far as that is concerned, I have no idea. The only thing I can come up with that he, depending on which group you're talking about, some people see him as like the, what was it? God, I had it. Like the all god, the high god, like he's like God.
Oh,
Like he's the top cheese.
He's the higher being. He's the higher being.
Yeah. Supreme God. There you go.
Yeah.
Supreme God.
He's
so
like
it's
he's like what Kronos was.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very convoluted because the Egyptians saw him as something, the Greeks, the Hebrews, of course, Christianity. It's very convoluted, but I find it funny that he is a head of a rooster, a body of a man with a whip in his hand for a hand and snakes for feet. And I'm like, God, that sounds about right.
Oh my God, I just found something else to add to this, to the Bohemian Grove conspiracy theory. I'm so sorry. So remember, there's a statue of an owl, right?
Yeah.
His show is called Night Owls. And there's motifs of owls fucking everywhere. And then with the scene with the Grove, there's a fucking owl that like he's doing the sacrifice in front of, that he did the ritual. Not only that, but the demon's like, yeah, we met at the fucking grove. Which ties into they do satanic fucking rituals at Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
Again, it's a conspiracy theory. No one fucking knows what happens up there other than the people that get invited there. It's the same thing with like Area 51, right? Like there's all these crazy conspiracy theories that we don't know if it's actually true or not. There's whistleblowers like Alex Jones for Bohemian Grove, like people who worked Area 51, but like
we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no hard evidence.
Honestly, personally speaking, I think Abraxas would have been a weird demon to choose for this. Because honestly, if I was making this movie, I would have put it a little more on the nose. Because there's a Duke of Hell. I cannot think of his name for the life of me, but he has a head of an owl.
That would have been, oh my God. That would have been
perfect.
2 on the nose. It'd have been 2 on the nose.
That's true. It would have been 2 on the nose. Because Abraxas doesn't seem like he'd necessarily be a fit, but who am I to say? Because he's a god of like, people use like Abraxas stones for like charms and amulets and shit and magic.
Well, yeah, like people who practice paganism nowadays.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, witches and warlocks, like who practice like paganism now, who do their rituals, who do their spells, who are they're not all like dark and evil entities. For anybody who's extremely religious, like some people do like protection magic and healing magic and stuff like that. Just putting it out there.
And Abraxas means, according to whom Abraxas meant for this group of people known as the oh God, I went through this whole thing. There's a group of people that Abraxas comes from their system of belief. But Abraxas means the greatest God, the highest God, the Lord and Creator, the Almighty God. So that's what the name Abraxas means. The power of all, above all, first principle, the cause of the first archetype. And he has a correlation with with like numbers and shit too. It's a lot, y'all. He also has connection to planets. Yeah, it's a lot. So basically they see he's worshipped when he was worshipped as a god, he was worshipped as like the almighty, top of the food chain deity. So it makes sense why the movie chose him. Looking into it, because I was like, Roosterhead, the fuck? I would have chose the Duke of Hell. That's the head of the owl. Because they're literally the head of the owl, which I think that Duke is the is a demon you worship for like knowledge and shit. If I remember, I have my demonology book somewhere in my room, in this room that I'm in.
You know what that made me think of? I'm sorry. This is going to be like really like off fucking tangent, but still on tangent.
Yeah.
The deity of knowledge in Avatar.
Oh, you mean the owl?
Oh, in the library?
Mm-hmm.
The owl, bird, griffin thing?
Yep.
Snake thing? Question mark?
Yep.
The only owl demon I can think of is Stolas.
Stolas?
But to be fair, the doctor herself did say, like, we might not even think it's Abraxas. It could be someone else. It could be a lower.
That's true.
It could be a lower level being that serves Abraxas, because,
yeah,
like, why would a demon, like, once you have a demon's name, you can control it.
Exactly.
So why would a demon fully fucking tell you its name?
That is true. Names have power.
I mean? Which also goes to like the thing of the Fae, right? Like once once they have your name, they have control of you, and it's the same. Like, so once you have
where do you think the demons got where the whole importance of demons and names came from? Because they also demonized the Fae.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I know. Like, no demon is going to tell you their name. Because once you have their name, it's easy for you to like not deal with him anymore. Right? Like
Yeah.
unless it's a more like powerful being. You know what I mean? Like if it was like the devil himself.
Honestly, I think it's more terrifying for it to not even be a demon, but something like that's not that. If that makes sense. The fact that they think it's a demon, that's expected. You're like, okay, cool. I know what I'm dealing with. But by the end of it, I kind of thinking about it. I kind of agree that it might not even be Abraxas as a demon per se. I don't even think it's even a fucking demon, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's what's more scary about it. Because if it's not a demon, what the fuck is it?
What would you think that it is then? Because this is like peak demon.
Well, obviously this thing chose the name Abraxas for a reason. And Abraxas means basically Almighty God. So I mean,
yeah, there
could
was
be God.
while we were watching this movie, I'm not gonna lie, like I like fucking burnt sage. Like
Well,
I was like,
I don't think Sage was going to save you from that thing.
No, because like you could still bring in bad energy from watching certain movies, and this is one of them that I was like, I'm not gonna fucking risk it. Like I was like, I do not accept any energy that comes from this film. Like I had my dragon's blood incense going, I had my sage going, I was fucking like, I do not claim this energy. I revoke it. Don't fucking come near me. I don't want it. Like, I was very much like a stay the fuck away from me.
Because I find it quite interesting because the woman, was her name Linda? She had a stone that wasn't a cross or anything. She had
an owl.
It wasn't.
It was an owl.
That's even weirder.
It was an owl.
Because again, Abraxas doesn't have a head of an owl; it's a head of a rooster.
Again, though,
it's a lie.
It's not for Abraxas though. She was just because it was the same as if like pulling out a cross and saying like the power of Christ compels you. It was her version of that, which was an owl. And I'm all like, ma'am, why are you using an owl with a stone in it?
It's weird. The cross didn't work. The rock didn't. The owl kind of worked, but then didn't in the end. So that's why I'm like, I don't think this was a demon in the sense of a demon we're thinking of. Because there
have been multiple times where a cross is not going to work on a demon.
No, but the way I don't know. I'm not getting demon vibes from that thing. From that entity posing as said demon. And of course, Abraxas is not a demon anyway. Technically speaking.
Abraxas in the Bible is. Like, technically, no. But we're going based off of the teachings of
You're assuming that this Abraxas was the biblical one association. We just have the name. I'm the one that did the digging on the name Abraxas and what it was. The movie doesn't tell you what Abraxas is. Or who it is. It doesn't give you any background on that. So that's why I'm like, I don't think this was a demon. I think this was.
But I'm also going off the knowledge of the Grove, right? I'm also going and the theories that is, which they do demonic sacrifices, they do demonic rituals in the Grove. And then the cult that was doing the sacrifices was doing it to the demon Abraxas.
Anything opposes a demon.
Why would anything want to pose as a demon other than a fucking demon?
To get worship. Gods can repurpose themselves.
And that
Hell, you see that in the show American Gods. Gods repurposing themselves for disguising themselves as different things to get the worship. There's a will, there's a way. You need the worship, they'll get it one way or another.
whether or not it's still an evil entity, which is why people usually just say it's a demon. It's like saying like, well, I'm bi, but technically, like, just say you're gay. You know, like people like we say that because we don't want to go through like well, this is what I am and here's how I explain it. So to just save the trouble, you're like, I'm gay. I'm gay. Right? So it's the same thing. It's like the same concept. Like it's an evil entity. It's call it a demon. Because demons are evil entities. It's an umbrella at this point.
That's too easy. That's too fucking easy for my brain. Nah. I gotta think it. There's like that. Otherwise, they could have chose any other name for the demon, but they purposely chose Abraxas.
But they also named the girl who survived the fucking cult ritual Lily, and I made the connection.
And Diablo.
To Lilith. No, not Diablo.
No, her last name looks like and sounds like Diablo.
It's probably another language for the name Diablo, but like Lilith, as in like the fucking like evil demon Lilith. You know, like
I mean, she wasn't always a demon.
Yes, we know. She was originally the first woman on Earth, and then she defied. She was like, I'm not going to listen to no fucking man. And Adam was like, I don't like this bitch. And then, like, she died, and then they brought Eve. Like, I know the whole fucking story.
What I'm getting at is what if Abraxas is just God? Like, this is, like, God. Like, the big cheese upstairs.
I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, he literally did a mass genocide of the world.
Exactly.
He also told a father to kill his son in order to prove his loyalty to him. Like,
exactly.
Like, there's a lot of evil shit that God has done.
Exactly.
He sent his son to be suffered. Like, his son to fucking suffer on a cross. And, you know, like, tortured and shit. Like, and they're like, oh, our God is a mighty God. He's all forgiving. No, the fuck he's not. His love is conditional. His love is conditional.
That's my theory. Because choosing the name Abraxas and have it be a demon when he has that name, which means high God, all powerful God. That thing chose that name on fucking purpose. I personally think that's God.
I wish that we were able to talk to anybody who worked on this film when it comes to the writers or producers.
Period. Like, so many questions.
Like, please. We need to know, why did you choose Abraxas?
Because they could easily say, oh, we just chose it because we went down a name of demons. Oh, Abraxas. But I don't think they did that. Just randomly choosing a name like that. And the fact the cult was sacrificing to this thing named Abraxas, or what they thought was a demon, might have been just God. Of course, how are they supposed to know? It's quite interesting. And after looking into what Abraxas is, like literally 30 minutes before going on to this episode, now I'm thinking, what if this is God? What if this is one of those horror movies that makes that God's the real, not monster, because you can't really give human emotions to a entity, to a cosmic level entity like that, because he's not human. He's alien. It's outside the emotion and personification of human. So technically God wouldn't be good nor evil. It just is. So the fact that Abraxas, or in my theory, God, did all of this kind of goes in line with the Old Testament stuff, to be perfectly honest, and how just God's word, just in general.
So I looked up what Diabo, like where it comes from. There's different origins. So
Oh
there's
God, here we
French.
go.
There's French,
Uh-huh.
which it comes from a place called Dabo in Moselle. There's Croatian from it's a short form of the old South Slavic name, which I can't. I'm sorry. Like if you tell me how to pronounce it, I will try my best, but I cannot just read it like this. It's composed of the element da be, which is would be, and ziv, or I'm pretty sure I ruined that, which means alive, or West African, from the name Dabo clan, which is closely related to the Mandinka peoples of unexplained etymology. And etymology is the study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history.
Oh my God, that kind of goes in line in a weird fucking way. Because that would just that could be.
This is from Ancestry.com. This is from.
I mean that name kind of works because Abraxas has gone through different meanings throughout the centuries.
So what did these ancestors do for a living? In 1940, labor was top reported job for people named Dabo. So they were like laborers. There's like all different kinds of stuff on here. Like, of course, because this is Ancestry.com, they're like, hey. But I wanted to figure out what the
girl.
Oh, let's see. There's also hold on. So Dabo. It could be a noun, which means magic trick or sleight of hand, or a child's first attempt at standing up. Which is from a different language. Then there's the Japanese, and then there's the Latin. So the Latin is also a verb. First person singular, future active indicative of do. It's you have to put it in front of a Latin is a very complex language to learn. I took it for like 3 years. So, but I don't want to go into the sentence structure.
It's rather interesting.
So like there's different meanings of the word, you know.
But that
like,
first one
I like that one,
works.
magic trick, sleight of hand.
That can also work too with the whole theory of like, was any of it real? And the first meaning kind of indicates how different names have different meanings throughout the span of time. Oof.
So on Urban Dictionary, which we should never take things seriously on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
But this one says usually a family name of high prestige, noble, and decent individuals, not decent.
Girl.
Decent individuals.
Girl, someone did research on this and chose these names on purpose. And I just want to know why.
Or, I mean, they could have just made up the name without thinking because it sounded like Diablo.
But it fits too perfectly depending on which way you look at it, depending on the theory.
Yeah.
Because, like, the name says, names change, words change meaning throughout history. Abraxas. The name itself mean magic trick. Kind of goes in line of the whole, was any of this real or was all this all fake? That kind of goes in line with either. Well, honestly, they probably chose that name for the whole magic trick thing, but the other meaning works in the favor of that in a weird way too. So it's like, my God, I need to know. Because I'm really standing by the whole that's God, not a demon. Because damn. Because honestly, I would love to see more horror movies, religious horror films. Not talking about demons possessing angels and God. possessing people, doing some real fucked up shit. Because if they were to come down on this earth, they're not going to do anything that's going to be like, people have religion kind of gives you the idea, oh, everything, they're all good, pure, whatever. No, they're not. They do just as fucked up shit as their counterparts, but like in a different way. And I would love to see more religious horror exploring that. Because I mean, you kind of see that with what's that one horror movie called, where the girl's pregnant and it's an old lady. Your baby's gonna burn. Oh God!
I know what you're talking about.
Those are all angels.
Was it Constantine?
Was it Constantine? No, it wasn't Constantine. But basically, the villains in that movie were all a bunch of angels possessing people, but they kind of gave the impression that they're very demonic, but they're angels of God, not demons. So, oh gosh, that's my theory. I think it's God. That name seems too purposeful. Either God or an old God before the like religion of Christianity came about. But I think it's some godly deity there. So.
So, rating system.
How many ritualistic daggers?
I was just thinking that.
1 out of 5 daggers. I'm going to give it a 4 daggers out of 5.
Hold on, I need my average calculator. Oops. I know how to do averages. I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
So you said 4 out of 5?
4 out of 5 daggers. I love this movie. I love it. It makes my brain think. It makes me pay attention. I'm just like, oh, this is the type of horror that I live for. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't take itself.
Horror. It's a psychological horror.
Yeah. With like a sprinkle of camp in the sense that it gets fucking ridiculous and does not take itself seriously. And I love that.
Where?
It's ridiculous.
Where do they not take themselves? This movie, they take themselves seriously.
Like,
so where in the movie are they not taking themselves seriously? I want to point it out to you.
Where shit hits the fan. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't take that seriously. It's ridiculous. The whole movie is ridiculous in the greatest way possible.
Okay, but they take themselves seriously, though. This is.
They take themselves seriously, but like the movie feeds into the ridiculousness of it, and the fact that it goes batshit insane in the last
usually
10,
happens whenever demons fuck around. Well, people fuck around.
Yes, but nothing like this though. I think this movie honestly is one of the more insane demon possession type films because it just went fucking weird.
So the other one that we watched where they were live streaming it.
Yeah,
that one was camp.
That's fair.
That one was camp. This one is too much psychological horror for me to consider it camp. This is not camp for me. Not every horror movie is camp. This is not camp.
No, not every horror movie is camp, but I think this movie's a little too ridiculous to see it as something completely.
Well, because you're seeing it from a different. Because you're seeing it from like they're saying certain things that don't match up with like demonology. They're bringing in other gods, which Christians have made different gods into demons.
Which adds to my theory standpoint. Thank you. But yeah, no, 4 out of 5. This movie is fantastic. If you have not seen it, please do so. It's great. It's fun. You like some ridiculous chaos. This movie's chaos. We love chaos.
It's not camp. It's not camp. This is not a campy movie. By the means of the definition of camp. In my opinion, anyway. Like, camp would be that other film. Camp would be the Fear Street. Fear Street takes himself seriously, but it's also very camp. Literally, they have a whole movie that's based off of Sleepaway Camp. That's camp. To me, anyway. This one.
Well, camp was not a good choice of words. It's just ridiculous. It's insanity. Camp was a terrible choice of words. It's not camp. It's insanity. It's ridiculous. It's chaos. You can have chaos without it being camp.
True.
I just said camp because that was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like thinking about like that's not really camp. It's just chaos. Insanity, buffoonery. Yeah. But I think this movie kind of turns it up a little bit because the visuals are fucking weird. I love it though.
Are weird.
I want to know how they did it. How they made their heads split open and shit. Because that looked a mix of CGI and prosthetic. Anyway, what's y'all's rating system?
Oh yeah, no, that scene was fucking amazing. Like I think that the scene where like he's tearing his stomach open and the fucking worms come out, that was interesting. You know, like you could tell that the little cheapo worm from the eye, like that even that was camp. That where the fucking worm popped out of his eye like that.
Yeah, that was camp.
That was. I will say that little part right there, the makeup, 100% camp. Loved it. But like every psychological horror film is, sometimes it just wants to fuck with your brain, and sometimes they do that with ridiculousness. On top of that, like with the history of like quote unquote demon possession movies, we could go back to like Paranormal Activity. That's chaos. That's insanity. That's chaos.
Yeah.
The fucking movie, the movie that I can't remember the name of, but it was a good campy movie about fucking a demon possession, and they were live streaming it with the fake fucking priest.
The Cleansing Hour.
And Cleansing Hour, thank you. Like
camp.
Yeah, that was camp. That also had a lot of chaos and stuff like that. Whenever it comes to demon possession movies, even Amityville Horror, the fucking Exorcist, like demon possessions are fucking crazy, wonky, fucking insanity.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love this movie. I don't see much wrong with it. Like, I don't have any complaints about it. Like, yes, there's the whole controversy with the AI, but I've already spoken my piece about that.
Yeah.
That being said, like, I can't find anything wrong with this movie. I can't find any complaints about this movie. I would 100% watch this movie again. I want to watch it over again. I want to start picking it apart piece by piece, you know?
Same.
And when I know we usually do like a 0.5 system, but I want to get like, if it's not a 5, it'll be like a 4.9 at most. You know?
That's fine. 4.9.
I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say 5 because I can't see anything wrong with this film. It was amazing. I wish I saw it in theaters.
Oh God, am I going to do I'm going to be the first. I'm going to change my score. I'm going with a 5. I'm going to go with a 5. I'm going with a 5. A 4 was too low because I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's too low. A 5. Nah. Go for it. 5. 5 out of 5, baby. So 2 5s. Vanya?
Well, where do I start? I really do enjoy how they set up the scenario of a cheesy 70s late night talk show and their type of banter. It's like early, I don't know, what kind of talk shows were popular in the 70s? But basically that era of entertainment was captured pretty much spot on.
I mean, Johnny Carson.
Don Lane.
Don Lane.
Don Lane was a talk show that aired from 1975 to 1983. Which they nod to Don Lane in the movie. They're like, oh yeah, he's in competition. Jack is in competition with Don Lane. But yeah, it does. It captures late night talk show vibes perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, I did like the movie. Personally, I'd go with a 4.
4. Okay.
I guess my only gripe would be some of the special effects. Like the body looked great, the head looked great, the vomiting, like the spewage, kind of looked a little cheap to me, and then the lightning also looked a little cheap. But I can understand because of the budget was pretty low.
You know what it was giving me?
Mm.
70s horror vibes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
of course.
it does.
The bad visual effect, the quote unquote bad visual effects is 100% something you would see in a bad 70s horror film.
Yeah.
That does make sense. And then like the more body horror stuff was more like, oh, this is real, so we had to make it look really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see where the priorities went. But I'm not really counting too much against for the special effects. It's more of a thing of how invested am I in the movie and what emotions, like how strong the emotions I get from it. I didn't get incredibly strong emotions watching this film, but it was enjoyable. Or at least compelling. Like, it isn't always enjoyable when someone's getting possessed and killing everyone. It's just like, oh, this is sickeningly awesome.
Love a good cult here. It's a joke. It's a joke. Not real cults. I don't stand for real cults. Fictional cults, though.
It's just another one of those cases where I'm not sure what holds it back from me, other than I guess I was expecting it to be astounding, but I don't know, but I'm fine with giving it a 4.
Okay.
It's at a 4.666666666666.
Oh God.
A
It fits.
4.666.
It
Oh
fits.
my god.
It fits. It's on theme.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on theme.
It's on theme.
All right. So there you go, ladies and gents, and the girls, gays and days out there, or the straights. It's on Shudder. Go watch it. What else? I'm gonna go into this episode. Next week we're gonna be coming back and we're gonna be doing some non-horror stuff for the rest of the month of May. We're gonna be talking about our Roman empires. We're starting with me first. So you're gonna listen to me ramble for like an hour and a half to 2 hours on what? Find out next time. Until then, bye.
Good night.